Hey, Jason Smith from sunny California here in beautiful Beijing. I want to talk to you about worshiping Buddhism and Taoism here in China. A lot of people in the West have this misconception that people are not able to worship or that they don't, and that's just not true. So we're bringing you to this place, Badachu, up the hill, which is full of Taoist and Buddhist temples, to show you thousands and thousands of practitioners on this day, which is a day like any other day, where people are worshiping both in Taoism and Buddhism. Across Beijing, by the way, I just want to say there are more than 100 Buddhist and Taoist temples. There is at least a dozen churches. There's a dozen mosques. There are all kinds of different worshipers here in Beijing and across China. Now, I have personally been to temples in multiple cities throughout China. Let's go and check it out. Given that just here in the entrance and the immediate entrance, because this place is gigantic, there are more than 1,000 people here. It's easy to say that there are more than 10 or 20,000 people in this whole facility just right now today, worshiping Buddha, worshiping Taoist gods of various sort, worshiping Guanyun at the various temples, and we're going to show you all of it. Come and check it out. I don't think 10,000 is enough. I think I underestimated. We're just here at the first echelon after having passed up the Great Buddha Foot to attempt to arrive at the first temple, and we're still not there. I think we're talking about 20 to 30,000 people because we've barely entered the first 5% of the park, and it's just, there are so many families, old, young, children, everyone here at this amazing temple fair here in Beijing. We're at the first echelon, or the first level that we got to, where there are numerous temples, more than a dozen, and there are more than just 1,000 or 2,000 people just in this area, which may be the most famous, because among these dozen temples is the giant pagoda behind me, where Buddha himself, his teeth, are said to be stored. Behind me is yet another temple. Now there are 8 major ancient temples that are more than 1,000 years old, some of them just a few hundred. But some of the temples, like this one behind me, are just scattered throughout the entire complex. So really there's like dozens and dozens of temples for both Taoism and Buddhism. So we just wanted to show you a couple of the smaller ones on the way up. My producer is having some difficulty getting up the mountain. I'm eager to be out of breath. Behind me is a super massive complex of Buddhist temples. But I, myself, am very interested in Taoist temples, and we have to go quite a bit further to get to those. We're at the entrance of what is called the fifth Chu, the fifth temple on the mountain, and this one is a Taoist temple, and it is the Taoist Dragon Water Temple. Come on inside and take a look. Over here is Buddha, and in here is Wenchang, god of luck and prosperity, along with 2 other gods. One of those being Caishen, which, for those of you who don't think Chinese people are religious, come during Chinese New Year and you won't see a house without Caishen in it. We've just crossed through the gate of the 6th temple. I'm not sure if it's Buddhist or Taoist, but if you look at this, the lotus is typically an emblem of Buddhist temples. So let's go check it out. Come on. Harder than it looks. I hit the center 3 times, so that means apparently a higher position at my work. After what seems like hours has been hours. We're at the 7th great temple here on Badachu. Behind me is the Guanyun Temple of, I can barely pronounce it, so Avalokitesvara Temple, which is the temple of the infinite Buddha. Hey, it's been really fun taking this adventure with you. We didn't see every temple on the mountain because there are all kinds of side routes and we are exhausted. We're gonna come back sometime and show you everything. But now we're taking the cable car down and you can see the entirety of Beijing from here. It's quite resplendent.